So, Stephanie, it's a pleasure to see you and
Pleasure
these
to see you
very
too.
serious questions here.
What skills and abilities have helped you become the leader you are today?
So, the skills and abilities I really feel that have most helped me is communications, is the ability to really understand what I need and be able to communicate that to others and to hear other people and what they need and to be able to respond to that. And that ability to have a two-way communications then creates a space where you can understand each other and identify where you can work together, where there may be differences and challenges, and be able to chart a path forward. And when that communications, when that communication flow isn't happening, there's just a whole series of spin-off problems that are created simply because there's no way for you to be able to work forward together on something. So I found that both in my personal and professional life that communications is really one of the key aspects of being able to be a leader or just being able to function well in family relationships and professional relationships.
Definitely. Thank you, Scott. Do you think leaders are born or created?
Well, I definitely think that there is a lot to be said about how people are wired, so how they're born. Having three kids of my own, it's very difficult to not acknowledge that people are very much who they are when they come out. People talk about this nature versus nurture concept, and I'm a firm believer that there's a lot of it that just who you are as a person is how you're born. That said, is that there is a huge amount of mentoring and and guiding that happens, and so leadership, I think, depending on the kind, people can lead in many different ways, and figuring out how you're wired to be able to, what you can offer people in your leadership abilities and skills. A lot of it can be brought forward a lot with the mentorship and nurturing. So it's certainly a combination, but yeah, I've never met a person that I don't feel that has some leadership abilities. It's just depends on what situation and who they're leading and their comfort level. So that's a lot of the work that we do, is really helping people identify what they have inside of themselves in their abilities and what they can contribute to their community and the world, and helping that come out. So.
I have to ask, Scott, being the father of three busy young boys, an active member of your church and community, how do you lead a balanced life?
Yeah, balanced life. I'm not sure there is such a thing as a balanced life. There are ebbs and flows, and I'm fortunate that I'm in relationships with other people, and so the balanced life is not just my life, it's also my wife's life and my kids' life, and figuring out how do we keep the lines of communication open to know if we're heading down different paths as opposed to continuing on a life journey together is a very much it's a tough thing, and it's a daily and weekly aspect of it. We have weekly conversations about, okay, what's coming up this coming week. We do that in our family life and also professionally. You have to lay out some of your work plans and say, yeah, this is what we want to be achieving in the long run. Here's what we think we can do in the coming month, 6 month, year, and here's what it's going to take to actually get there. And so making the decisions then collectively about how do you devote your resources, and a lot of it is time. That is a decision that I make with on the personal side with my family, but also on the professional side. That's what we all do in our business, is to trying to figure out, okay, well, we're trying to achieve these goals, and this is how we think it's going to get there. Understanding the resources we need to put into that, whether it's our own time, other staff time, financial resources, etc. So it's again boils back to that main point of communications.
And lastly, Scott, what inspires you?
People really inspire me. I love people, and I love that knowing what's inside somebody and helping them see it for themselves and have it come out. That is a major. I mean, passion is I'm a pretty passionate guy, and that is a big part of who I am. and that drives pretty much all of my interactions every day with anybody, whether it's the heads of corporations or whether it's the people you see on the streets. It's everybody has something to offer, and helping live in a world where we are helping people bring their own passions and skills forward and work together to make the community and the world a better place. That's a lot of what makes me excited about life. And so when you talk about balanced life, people often say, oh, there's personal and professional. And I'm very fortunate that I work in an environment where that's very tied together. And so, so that's that's what keeps me going and drives me. So.
Great. Thank you, Scott, for answering all my questions today. You've done a great job of exemplifying why I chose you as a leader, and I'm happy to share this with the Chinook.
Well, thank you.